am Prashanth Kumar, here with you to discuss about the 10th standard social science. Today, let us discuss about the 4th chapter of sociology, social problems. So, social problems in the society, there are many problems. So, in that, child labor, sexual harassment on children, female feticide, hunger and malnutrition, gender discrimination, child marriage, and human trafficking. These were the main problems. So let us discuss few. And here in the first video, the social problems in the first. So let us discuss about the main problem, child labor, labor of children. So what is child labor? And uh, the children below the age of 14, so they have to go to school, they have to study. That is a basic, that is a foundation for their life. Instead of going to school, the children below the age of 14, if they are working for the financial consideration, is called child labor. Yeah. And actually, in the developing countries like India, the misuse of children and their labor is the main social problem. Yeah. And according to 2011 census, 12.6 million children are under forced labor in India. So that is in houses, factories, agriculture, etc. And in the world, 215 million. In India, 12.6 million. In the world, 215 million children. They are forced labor throughout the world. Yeah. So this forced labor has reduced the intellectual and physical health. The intellectual and physical health of the children were reduced. Yeah. So against this, so an act was passed by the government of India, Child Labour Prohibition and Regulation Act of 1986. So this act prohibited the child labor. So one question comes here, dear friends, below 14, if they work, they are child laborers. Then 15 what? Yeah, and after 15 what? Can they? No, they don't also. They don't also child labor. So here, what they did in 2016, by understanding these problems, the government brought some changes to the Child Labor Prohibition and Regulation Act. So they changed that one into Adolescent Labor Prohibition Act. Adolescent Labor Prohibition Act. After 15 also up to 18 they should not. Yeah, it's also called as adolescent labor. Okay, yeah. So now we have to discuss about the Child Adolescent Labor Prohibition and Regulation Act. Totally it is Child Adolescent Labor Prohibition and Regulation Act of 1986 total, which was amended in 2016. Yeah. Here, what are the main conditions there? That one we have to discuss. Here, no children below the age of 14 years be employed in any sector for any reason. They should not be employed in any sector. It may be in agriculture, it may be in industry, it may be in service sector. Nowhere they should not be employed. And as per Article 14, if they are employed, a fine of rupees 50,000 and 2 years imprisonment on the owner, those who employed these children. 50,000 rupee fine and 2 years imprisonment. And any family cannot engage their children below the 14 years in any household activities during school hours. Below the age of 14, the children, they should go to school. Compulsory education. It is the duty of the parents' house. They have to send their children to school. If they are engaged in household activities during the school hours, they will be punished with the fine of rupees 10,000 on parents. As per this act, children between the age of 15 and 18, that is adolescent what we call, are considered as adolescent children. After 14, 15 to 18. and they should not be employed in any dangerous employment. So any dangerous employment means a cracker or iron steel industries, etc. So which is dangerous to their development. If this law is violated, this rule is violated, the owner of that industry, owner of that firm will be levied with a fine of rupees 50,000. Yeah, and here before the implementation of this act, the amendment, before the amendment, 29 sectors were identified as dangerous sectors in Industrial Act. In the Industrial Act of 1948, 29 sectors were identified as dangerous sectors. But here in this act, they added another two and total 31 sectors. Yeah, the act identified 31 sectors are dangerous. So, example, mining, production of explosives, etc., and combustible production, iron and steel industries. So, these are the dangerous sectors, and so vehicle repairers, etc. Okay, so this is about the Child Adolescent Labor Prohibition and Regulation Act. Next, we have discussed about the reasons. What are the reasons for child labor? Main cause: lack of social environment that honor and protect child rights. In the society, that environment is necessary to respect, honor, and protect the child rights. The children, their rights should be protected. Yeah, and here, especially what happens in the society, the main reason, yeah, that environment not there because of child marriage, human trafficking, etc. Yeah, child marriage, human trafficking. And with that, the greedy owners who strive for less wages and more work. From the children, they can take more work. Actually, they are so active. They will work more than the elders. But they are children, no? For them, less wage enough. The greedy owners, for less wage, more work they will get from the children. That is another reason then. Yeah. So due to another one, due to agriculture crisis, because of drought, famine, flood, etc., the families, they will migrate from the villages to the urban centers. Yeah, so there they were forced to work. They have to earn money, for they have to earn bread. For that purpose, the parents, they will send the children to the work. Children end up working in dangerous sectors which fall under unorganized sector. They have to work in hotels, firecrackers, and actually firecracker manufacturing units, and such dangerous sectors they have to work because they have to earn money. And failure to implement compulsory and universal education, that is another reason. Compulsory and universal education is very important. When government's duty, that one, and parents' duty, and it's a right of the children. So implementing this law, somewhere it is a failure. So because of that one also, child labor. And another one, failure to implement Land Reforms Act and Minimum Wages Act. So this is another one. Land Reforms Act. The tiller of the land should become the owner of the land. Then what happens? They will get interest and they will get more income, and they don't have to work in outside. So they can send their children to the school. And Minimum Wages Act. If the parents, if they are working, if they get minimum wages, if they are getting less than that, definitely they need more money. For that purpose, they will send their children to the work. If they are getting minimum wages, it is enough to maintain their family, and they will send their children to the school. Yeah. So here, this act not implemented properly, as a result, the financial condition of the families were very less. So they are sending their children to the school. These are the reasons for the child labor. Next, we have to discuss about the demerits of child labor. What are the negative points here? So because of the child labor, which affect the physical and psychological growth of the children negatively. They have to work in their tender age, their growing age. They have to work in dangerous field outside. So there, physically they will get problem. Physical development will not take. values. With that, psychological growth also curbed. So their psychological development and physical development were curbed by this child labor. Yeah, and if they go to the school, their psychological development, their education will improve, and physical development possible, and they will understand that one. And so here, child labor, the first demerit, that one. Next, as they become illiterates, they miss their basic rights. They become illiterates. Yeah. So because of illiterates, their basic right actually that one, they should get literate. They should know what it is. They should be able to understand everything. The foundation for the life. Who knows? Their life would have been a bright one, but now, because of this child labor, they became illiterates. They were lagging behind in the society and restrict the social and economic mobility of the families. So, because of this child labor, the family, their mobility, their mingling with others will be restricted. Yeah. So, if they are educated, so it will widen their mobility and mobility of the families, and social mingling. It's more possible. And children become target of exploitation repeatedly in such families. Yeah, like children, those who are working, they become the target of exploitation. Again and again, they are exploited. And this child labor leads to child marriage and human trafficking among the children. Yeah. So sometimes children will be sold. That is one thing. Another one, human trafficking. Here, these children they were using for some illegal activities. Someone, the greedy people, they will use these children because on the children doubt will not come to sell this one drugs, etc. For smuggling. These children will be used. Yeah. So this is the problem mainly. And with that, another biggest problem, the risk of sexual exploitation becomes more, especially on female. Sexual exploitation will be more because they have to depend on owners. Owners will use them, misuse them. Many children get infected with various diseases, and many becomes physically deformed. So here, because of the child labor, what happens? Their resistance product reduce because they are working there in their growing age. Actually, they should not work that much. They are working and they are not getting nutritious food also. In time food they will not get. As a result, their resistance for reduces and they will be infected with various diseases. And because of exploitation, because of sexual exploitation, various diseases will come. And in the working areas, because of some problems, because of wound, etc., they become physically deformed. When they become physically deformed, their salary will, wage will come down, and again it will be a problem for them. See, these are the demerits of child labor. Yeah. Next, we have discussed about measures. How can we stop this? Measures to eradicate child labor. Can we stop it? Yeah. And actually, children below the age of 18, they should go to school. They have to get, the minor children, they have to get education. And what to do? First, ensuring gender equality always. Here mainly the problem, many female children, they were not going to school. They are working at home. Many houses you can observe in some areas, male dominated society, their male child will be sent to the school. Female child, she has to work in home. When the male child comes, all the work of that male child she has to do. Homework also she has to do. All help she has to do. She has to cook. She has to wash the utensils and all other household work she has to do. And he is a Vamshodharaka. So he has to go to school. So this gender inequality created child labor. and that female child will be affected with sexual harassment, etc. So this should be avoided. So ensure gender equality always. And stopping migration of helpless families because of drought, famine, or flood. So there they will migrate from one rural area to urban area. In the urban area, they have to work, they have to earn their bread. At that time, they will be forced to work. So to stop migration, we have to stop migration. How to stop? By providing some facilities, by providing some help. So we have to solve the problems there in the rural areas. Poverty elevation programs, very important one. So by that we have to stop migration and creating awareness on child marriage and human trafficking. We have to educate the people. We have to create awareness among the people about the problems of child marriage and human trafficking. So by educating them, it is possible to move it. And ensuring better implementation of child rights through Gram Panchayat. Gram Panchayats, they have to work towards this one. The leaders, local leaders, they have to work wherever they find this child labor, they have to stop that. Strictly, they have to follow that. So automatically, it will be stopped, and it is possible to reduce or root out this child labor. So we have to work. Children, today's children are future generation. They are blooming buds. They have the twigs, tender twigs. We should not break that one. We should not destroy that. The future of the country depends on them. Let us give chance for them to glow. So bright future they have. Let us give chance for them. So together, let us work wherever we find child labor. We have to stop that. We have to bring them to the mainstream. We have to bring them to the school. So this is about child labor. Remaining social problems, let us discuss within another video. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you very much.